time for Wave 3 Listens Live on Kentuckiana's first live local TV talk show, all hosted by John Ramsey. This is Wave 3 Listens Live.
Welcome to the Monday edition of Wave 3 Listens Live. It's a sunny day. How does your retirement roadmap look? Is your future sunny when it comes to retirement? We're going to help you today. Brookstone Financial is with us. Seth Stewart, who is the managing partner there at Brookstone Financial. All right, we tried something last week, and we're going to continue to do this. Had a good reaction. Interest rate update, Seth.
Yeah, the interest rate update at Brookstone Financial. I mean, rates are up at Brookstone Financial. We have a lot of fixed interest rates available. Currently, we have money markets at 0.80%. Three-year fixed annuities are paying 2%. Five-year fixed annuities at 3.25%. And John, those bonds pretty well speak for themselves. We try to keep our bond exposure right now short term because of the interest rate risk on the horizon. So the 1 year's at 5%. The 5 years are up to 8.5%. So some pretty strong rates at Brookstone.
Yeah, but like you said, if you go for those longer term bonds, then you're also looking at, hey, the likelihood is the interest rates will go.
Interest rates will rise in the future. I think it's inevitable. I mean, there's nowhere to go but up at this point, and it's kind of like the teeter-totter on the playground analogy. As interest rates rise, bond prices fall unless you hold them to maturity. So that's why we stick short term.
If you've been watching Seth Stewart with us every Monday with Brookstone Financial, you know we do have an agenda. We have a mission every week, and this week it is IRA and Legacy Planning, right, Seth? What should we know? This is tough to do, though, in 30 minutes, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's like trying to give you a drink out of a fire hose. We have a couple of events coming up, IRA and Legacy Planning events. And when you look at IRAs, I mean, it's very important that you understand what actually an IRA is. It's technically called an individual retirement account. John and I were joking before the show. I kind of refer to it as an internal revenue account if you don't plan properly, because if you look at that account value, not all that money is yours. I mean, because that's pre-tax money. You've got a lot of taxes that you're likely to pay in the future as you take out withdrawals to supplement your income, or if in fact you wait until you're forced to take withdrawals at 70 and a half, those required minimum distributions can sneak up on you, and it's important to pre-plan for those RMDs and understand how to minimize taxes.
Yeah, because if I'm looking at my IRAs and I'm thinking, wow, this looks pretty good, my future is bright, you've got to realize that Uncle Sam has yet to take his piece of the pie. And question I have for you, though, what is it about the whole 70 and a half? 70 and a half, that's the magic number when you have to start taking distributions, right? And
yeah,
you must.
You must. And John, at 70 and a half, you're forced into that distribution phase of life. I mean, whether you need the money or not, the fact is your favorite uncle, Uncle Sam, needs his tax revenue out of that account. So at 70 and a half, you're forced to start taking required minimum distributions, often referred to as RMDs. Now, there's a lot of misunderstanding about RMDs. Most individuals think it's a percentage of the account value, to where actually the IRS issues a table of divisors. And if you run the math out, what it comes down to, the older you get, the more of your hard-earned money they're going to force you to take out each and every year. And basically, John, they're trying to collect that tax revenue or forced taxation on that money.
I understand. Yeah, Uncle Sam wants his, and he will be sure he gets his.
And they need it, too.
Yeah, they do. Let's go to Brookstone Financial's website and take a look-see. A lot of good information. And if you this kind of walks you through everything, doesn't it, Seth?
Yeah, John, actually, the topic of today is IRA and Legacy Planning. There's a customized report that you can get right there on the home page. And also, if you click that link, not only will it take you where you can download your customized report, there's a short video there to show you, what IRA and Legacy Planning is all about. If you scroll up a bit, you'll see the dates to our upcoming event. We actually have two. The first one is in Madison, Indiana. That's coming up March 5th and March 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. And then at Kingfish in Jeffersonville, Indiana, it's March 12th and March 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. Right there on the website. You can either download the free report or register for the IRA and Legacy Planning workshop.
So if you go to these workshops, what exactly takes place? Obviously, we're going to get some information on IRAs and legacy planning. How long is this? Is there a question and answer session? How does this work, Seth?
Yeah, so it's typically about 45 to 50 minutes, John. We try to keep it short and sweet and to the point. Dinner is served, though, and you're more than welcome to come out and attend this event. We'd love to see a lot of great interaction with the community. Hopefully you'll get a lot of your questions answered when it comes to IRAs and legacy planning. How to maximize what's left at your death and efficiently transfer that to the next generation. Because, first and foremost, our job for our clients is to provide them solid, sustainable, predictable retirement income. But a close second to that is how to efficiently transfer, what's left to those kids or grandkids at their death.
Now, do you periodically do different topics for different seminars? Like this one is IRA and Legacy Planning, but that's just a small part of what you do at Brookstone Financial. So you keep look at the website or come here every Monday and we'll find out exactly when your next seminar is and what it pertains to.
Yeah, there's an events section of the website, and our motto at Brookstone is one relationship, a team of professionals. I mean, you can't be all things to all people in the financial services world. So we work with a team, and each team member has their unique area of expertise. And you can see there's the website, alternative investments, Social Security. We talk about annuities, IRA legacy planning, Medicare supplements, and then the retirement roadmap system. So a lot of different educational workshops coming up throughout 2015. This is actually our first one, though. We're always cautious about the weather. We don't want to get snowed out or iced out.
It's something I think we ought to make really evident. If you're new in watching this show on Mondays with Brookstone Financial, you guys are a little bit different. You don't really push a lot of products, although you're familiar with all of them. It's more like you said, you're solution-based. It's like, let's get some solutions and some answers for our clients, right?
Yeah, we're problem solvers, John. We're not product salespeople. We focus on solving problems and helping our clients create, again, solid, sustainable retirement income that they can't outlive, and again, efficiently transferring what's left to the next generation.
I'm curious on these two events coming up in Madison. You'll be there. How many members of your team?
Yeah, I will be there, and there'll probably be between 3 to 5 members of our team there as well. So you'll be able to meet some of the staff. You can actually meet some of the staff on our website and see the bios there and more about the team we work with at Brookstone.
I'm interested in talking more, and I know we will in the upcoming segment, about the distribution and how much you should take. That's all individual based, right? About other forms of income, other sources of revenue that you may have. Is that where it kind of starts?
Yeah, so distribution planning, I mean, when you look at IRAs and you reach 70 and a half, you take the total value of all the IRAs, because all your retirement accounts come into the calculation. There's often the question, do I have to take money from each individual retirement account, or can I take that collective total, run the calculation, and then take that from any one IRA? And the answer is yes. You can take the full amount from one IRA, and that's where we help our clients. We assist them in determining which IRA is the best IRA to take that required minimum distribution for the year. All
right, we're going to try to answer as many questions as we can here as we give you this information about IRA and legacy planning. However, I want you to take a look-see at some of the Brookstone Financial locations. One may be near you, and I encourage you, give them a call, set up an appointment. Consultation is absolutely free.
Yeah, it's free consultation, 1 hour, one-on-one consultation. I'm going to tell you a story here later on in one of the segments about one of my recent consultations and just how we were able to help those folks.
All righty. So there's the information up on the screen. There are your locations: Louisville, Jeffersonville, Madison, and Jasper. Again, Seth Stewart is with us, Brookstone Financial. We'll be right back. We're going to talk more about IRA and legacy planning with Brookstone Financial here on the Monday edition of Wave 3 Listens Live. It's Monday. That means we are helping you with your retirement roadmap with Brookstone Financial. Seth Stewart is with us, and he's the managing partner at Brookstone Financial. All right. Got some graphics you want to show us, and I think this illustrates some of your points very well.
Yeah, John, we've been talking about IRA and legacy planning, and what is an IRA? Let's talk about that. So IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. I kind of jokingly said earlier, it's an internal revenue account. Let's look at the difference, though, between traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Roth IRAs are a topic of much discussion today. Now, there's 3 different financial stages of financial life cycle. The first is contributions. Okay, John, this is when you're working and you're contributing to IRAs and 401ks. Well, you can see there at the top, the contributions from traditional IRAs, those are tax deductible. That's one of the advantages. So if you need the tax deduction, it's beneficial. To where, on the other hand, the contributions from Roth IRAs are not tax deductible. You're actually paying tax on that money today when you make the contribution. But keep in mind, taxes are on sale, and the best time to shop is when things are on sale. So during the accumulation phase of each of these accounts, traditional IRA grows tax deferred. So what are we deferring? We're deferring the inevitable, which are taxes in the future, to where the Roth IRA grows tax free. sounds pretty good. It's very beneficial, assuming that tax rates are going to go up in the future. Then you ultimately come to distribution. Okay, so whether it's distribution because you need the money to supplement your pension or Social Security, or it's 70 and a half and you're forced to take these distributions. At the distribution phase, traditional IRAs are fully taxable at your ordinary income tax rate, to where Roth IRA distributions are absolutely tax-free. And John, this is very, very important because the likelihood that taxes are going to increase in the future is pretty high. And not only is this money tax-free, it also, the withdrawals from Roth, it doesn't have a negative impact on the taxation of Social Security. And there's so many retirees upset about the fact that they pay taxes on their Social Security benefits. They feel like, hey, I've already paid taxes on this money once, and now you're going to tax me again. By using Roth IRAs, we can minimize, if not eliminate, the taxes on your Social Security benefits altogether.
So my question to you after seeing that graphic would be, why wouldn't you take a Roth IRA every single time? What would be the exception?
Lack of education. Now, I do have to say, there's also a phase-out provision. So depending on your income for the year, you may not be eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA, but you probably can convert traditional IRA money to a Roth. I mean, think about this analogy for a minute. Think about it if you're a farmer, right? And the federal government says, we're going to give you an opportunity this year. You can either weigh out all of the seed, all those bags of seed, we'll weigh that out and let you pay taxes on the weight of the seed, or if you want to wait till harvest time, you can weigh the harvest and pay taxes on the harvest. What might you pay taxes on? Well, I would personally rather pay taxes on the seed than the harvest money, and that's the analogy I like to use when we're talking about Roth IRAs. Yes, you're paying the taxes on the money now, the seed money when it goes in, but the growth on that money in the future and the withdrawals are absolutely tax-free. And, John, you're not forced to take required minimum distributions from Roth IRAs, so that's very beneficial as well, too.
So, in a nutshell, it's you're either paying Uncle Sam up front or you're paying him on the back end.
And you're paying him on the back end. And I mean, if you look at tax rates, historically speaking, I mean, we're in some of the lowest federal marginal tax rates we've seen in history.
So now would be the time.
Now would be the time, yeah. And also, you don't have to deal with these RMDs, you know, the forced required minimum distributions. And we've got a little video clip I'd like to use to kind of walk you through just the landmine you could step on. John, this is what could happen if you fail to take required minimum distributions. Let's assume the RMD is $15,000. The excise tax, if you miss that, it's a 50% penalty or $7,500.
Wow.
Now you got to pay taxes on the distribution. Assume you're in the 30% tax rate, you lose $4,500. John, that is $12,000 that you lost out of a $15,000 RMD just because you missed it. You didn't get it out before December 31st. That's only $3,000 coming to you. You could lose 80% potentially to the IRS without a formal distribution plan. I mean, that's eye-opening. So you don't underestimate these required minimum distributions at retirement or 70 and a half.
That to me is a call to action.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like if I want to give Brookstone Financial a call now, because if 80% of my money is going to Uncle Sam because I missed a couple of windows of opportunity, then I'm all over that.
Well, the penalties are enormous. I mean, if you don't get your required minimum distribution out before December 31st in the year in which you're required to take it, it's a 50% penalty. So that's a pretty hefty penalty. And John, not only is it a 50% penalty, you have to pay taxes on that penalty as well.
Ooh, that is ugly. Okay, we've taken a closer look now of the Roth IRA as opposed to the conventional IRA. You've got another graphic for me now, is that right?
Yeah, I'd like to go over to this to give you an example of a strategy that recently, this is someone we had come in from the show, okay? This individual took a life-only pension option, okay? They retired and they took life-only. That means if they die, nothing's there to go to their spouse. Well, they were a married couple. He had $200,000 in his IRA. He was 62 years old. In this case, what we did is we took that $200,000. We used a fixed annuity, John, in this case. And that particular fixed annuity guaranteed a 4% growth rate every year on the death benefit. So here's what that means. Let me put some numbers on it. We're basically taking $8,000 withdrawals each and every year from that $200,000 deposit. That's the 4%. So we're retaining the 4%. We're just taking the cream off the top. We're taking that $8,000 and we bought a life insurance policy that pays $325,000 to his wife should something happen to him. What we've done here is we've leveraged a $200,000 IRA to go to the spouse at his death, and we've turned that $200,000 IRA into $525,000 with an approval from the insurance company and the stroke of a pen. Okay, so that's a lot of leverage, and whether that leverage is to protect a surviving spouse in a pension case, or maybe it's to leverage assets to go to the next generation. Our high net worth, some of our most successful clients use this same strategy to transfer wealth from generation to generation. I mean, if you look at very wealthy families in the U.S., you'll find that they use a lot of life insurance in their estate plans because life insurance death benefits are tax-free.
Wow. So if you happen to be a spouse at home or you're worried about the future of your children, it might be a good time to call Brookstone Financial and set up that's great information right there. And that's a nice dividend on something, like you said, that was fairly simple, but folks like myself would not be aware of.
I mean, here's another example, John. And okay, so I ran into someone the other day. They were 60 years old, and their kids were around 40, I believe. Maybe they're 65, kids were 40. Life expectancy is 85. So I was speaking with the kids as well, and we looked at this case and we said, okay, if you contribute $4,000 to an IRA, this is talking to the 45-year-old, the children, if you can contribute $4,000 a year every year to that IRA, what type of rate of return do you have to average to end up with $200,000 in the future? And it was roughly 8 to 9%. But then that money's taxable in the future. What they considered doing was buying life insurance on their parents, 20-year policy, right? So now they're 65, their parents are 85, which is life expectancy. They're paying $4,000 a year in life insurance premium, and then when their parents pass, they get that same death benefit tax-free, and they don't bear the market risk along the way to get there. So there's a lot of benefits. I mean, you know, a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth about life insurance. You know, maybe they've been burned on a policy because there was a lot of assumptions made in the policy that didn't come true, right? Or outlandish assumptions is usually the problem. But even based on very conservative assumptions, even policy guarantees, there's a lot of benefits in life insurance. I mean, call it what you want. I call it tax-free cash is what I call it.
Wow. There's interesting information that can be found with Brookstone Financial, your roadmap to retirement. Give them a call today for a free consultation. All right, coming up, we're going to talk more about IRA and legacy planning. Keep it right here. We'll also tell you about the upcoming events with Brookstone Financial. Grab a pen. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens. Little trivia for you, and it's good for lunch for two at Olive Garden, a $25 gift certificate. Seth Stewart, if you've been watching closely, I would assume people would know the answer to this one.
Yeah, we actually gave away the answer on the last segment. So here's the question. Failing to take a required minimum distribution, often referred to as an RMD, from your qualified retirement account could result in a what percent penalty? A, 25%, B, 30%, C, 50%, or D, a 60% penalty.
All right, and that's good for a $25 gift certificate. There's the number to call, 888-800-9283. Enjoy yourself at the Olive Garden if you know the correct answer. You know, this is interesting stuff, Seth. I think today you gave some information that was really kind of alarming to me as far as, wow, if I'm not aware of that, I can really be penalized heavily. Not just a little bit, heavily.
Oh, heavily. I mean, the penalties are ridiculous when you look at penalties on required minimum distributions, and no one knows what to do. I get so many questions and so many comments and calls. It's like, okay, I've turned 70 and a half this year. What do I do? Well, first of all, you need to come in and sit down with us at Brookstone Financial. Our job is to help you minimize your taxes and better understand the effects of required minimum distributions of 70 and a half. And if you don't need that money, and a lot of people say, well, Seth, I don't even need this money. They're forcing me to take out. That's a great opportunity to leverage that for the benefit of the next generation, because let me tell you something, their tax rates, your kids' tax rates, your grandkids' tax rates, they're going to be much higher than what you're paying today. So there are strategies that we use to leverage those required minimum distributions once you reach 70 and a half. And
you know, an item that is very interesting if you're looking towards the future is the interest rate. Here's our weekly interest rate update. Again, Seth Stewart will take over from here. Looking pretty good as far as those short-term bonds.
Yeah, John, rates are looking up at Brookstone. Give us a call. call. We've got money markets at 0.80, 3-year fixed annuities at 2%, 5-year fixed annuities at 3.25%. And then those 1-year bonds at 5%, 2-year bonds 6.5%, 3-year 7.5%, 5-year bonds 8.5%, and that is a yield to maturity too, John, I should point out. So those are new issue bonds. So they are 1-year, 2-year, 3-year, 5-year. They're not bonds that we're buying on the secondary market. Those are new issue bonds. So you're actually going to receive that 5, 6.5, 7.5, or 8.5% return.
All right, Brookstone Financial, again, that consultation is absolutely free. Upcoming workshops. Now, if you like being in an environment with other folks, maybe you're a very social person, or you just want to kind of test the waters and see what they're all about, some upcoming workshops, we're going to throw them up on the screen, and invite folks to come. Madison, that's beautiful. Nice little drive.
It is beautiful out there, Madison. This is our website, our IRA and Legacy Planning. Now, you can download a customized report from the website. You can also, by clicking this link here, you can go to the page where you'll find more information, RSVP information. If you scroll down slightly, the dates showing our upcoming events. John, like you said, we're at Clifty Falls in Madison, Indiana. That's March 5th and March 10th. 6 to 8 p.m. And then following up the next week at Kingfish over there in Jeffersonville, March 12th, March 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. And you know what? We've got a phenomenal turnout to these workshops. It's blown me away how many people have called and RSVP'd for these events. So seating is limited. I would encourage you, if you're interested in attending, you need to give us a call.
Didn't you say that a lot of times people not even realize they got friends there who made reservations?
Yeah.
Okay, so it becomes a little bit social, which is okay.
Yeah, unfortunately in our industry we're not allowed to give referrals or references in particular, and I always tell our prospective clients, I say, you know, look, attend one of our events. More than likely you're going to run into someone you know, maybe a friend, a family member, a neighbor, or a coworker. So yeah, you may see someone there you know.
If you just tuned in to Brookstone Financial and Mr. Seth Stewart, today on IRA and Legacy Planning, Seth, what would you say the take-home would be? There's a lot of take-home information. I would think that you have to consult with someone quickly because you could be penalized and not even know it, not even realize.
Don't fail to account for the effects of required minimum distributions of 70.5. Don't think it's too late to plan though either. If you're already 70.5 and you're taking these required minimum distributions, we can absolutely help you develop a strategy to leverage those RMDs for the benefit of maybe your spouse or your kids or grandkids. Now, if you're in your 50s or 60s and you're saying, wow, what am I going to do when I face this in the future? Pre-planning is the key. So we can help you pre-plan your retirement account strategy to minimize the effects of these RMDs in the future and potentially minimize your taxes and the effects that those taxes have on Social Security benefits as well. So it's kind of twofold. If you're already there, we can help you. If you're 10 to 15 years from 70.5, we can help you as well, because pre-planning is a very important part of what we do at Brookstone.
I know it's hard to say typical client because everyone's different, but the average age for someone who would approach Brookstone and say, okay, I have nothing together for my retirement roadmap. What would be the age of most of the clients that you see, Seth?
Our typical client, John, is probably around 55 to 60 years of age. Now, we do work with younger clients as well through the accumulation phase and helping them plan for their retirement. Typically, those are children or even grandchildren of our clients because they've seen how beneficial the planning that we've provided their parents has been for them. So, again, our job is first and foremost take care of our clients. Close second to that is efficiently transfer what's left to the beneficiaries.
And we've talked about this before, but I think it's important to repeat the fact. You're a numbers guy. I think it's obvious. You like the numbers and you can throw them up and you speak that language, but you're just one of a team at Brookstone Financial. Yeah,
one of many at Brookstone. We're growing every year, and that's pretty exciting too. I mean, our growth rate over the past 3 to 5 years has been through the roof, and we're still on track this year. We're still seeing a lot of growth, a lot of clients, new clients coming over, and a lot of that comes down to our philosophy, the fact that we don't sell products. We focus on solving problems, and if you're like most Americans, you're tired of being sold products. You have problems and you want answers, and that's what we provide you with at Brookstone Financial.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's not that you're not familiar with all the products. You're very familiar, but it's just not a one-size-fits-all kind of solution.
Well, and it's a secondary conversation. I think what catches people off guard is they expect to come in and they assume we're going to throw some mutual fund recommendation or annuity strategy at them, to where we really take a step back and focus on the plan. And very few people, John, that come in and see us even have any form of plan whatsoever. They may have a bunch of accounts, but there's no coordination between how all those accounts accounts work together in retirement.
All right. Once again, one of the founding partners right here, Seth Stewart, Brookstone Financial. Give them a call today. Free consultation. It's about an hour long. And here's the locations again of Brookstone Financial before we let Seth go. There we go. Louisville, Jeffersonville, Madison, and Jasper. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Seth.
thanks for having me. A lot of great information on the website too, so check that out. A lot of great report downloads.
Check them out on the web or give them a call. He's here every Monday. Once again, Brookstone Financial, Seth Stewart, and we'll see you now. Again, don't forget about to go into the websites as well. Don't forget about going to the websites for the events and a special. There we go. There it is once again. All righty, BrookstoneFinancial.com. We'll see you next week. Oh, we'll be right back. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens.